some jobs where creativity is just explicit performer or designer or sculptor or painter, a writer, a creative director. That one even has creative right in the name there. Filmmaker. There are lots of jobs and tasks and roles and activities that we think of as creative. And some people say, oh, well, I'm not creative because they don't have one of those jobs. But the fact of the matter is we are all creative. We are all creative. We are all using that one creative power that creates everything to create this next new experience in our life. Our creativity is the way that we share the skills and talents and gifts that we have to bring something new into the world. And sometimes it is labeled art, and sometimes it's labeled something different. And the Artist Way group has been diving into their inner artist, into their creativity, and they are going to share with us today what's been going on with them for the last 12 weeks. And kicking us off is going to be Dina, who is the head henchperson and leader of the Artist Way group.
I want to start my timer so I don't go past. Here we go. This is how we started, a little piece of how we started 12 weeks ago.
There's plenty to learn from our own mistakes. I might embarrass myself, but that's okay. Every journey begins the same, and I won't worry this life away. Sometimes good things still come late. Yeah, the future hasn't happened yet. I'm still unfolding every day. I cannot wait to get this started. Just getting started.
Yeah. So The Artist Way is a book and a process that was created by Julia Cameron. The tenets of this 12-week journey is to write 3 pages in the morning every day, read the chapter in the book, do the tasks, and have an artist date each week. This group met Sunday nights to listen and support each other, as well as to provide accountability through the process. We added a show and tell aspect if we created something during the week that we wanted to share, and a more general sharing. I had some specific ideas when I got to facilitate this group, things that I artistically wanted to open for myself. I think all of us experienced that opening. I started writing again and singing and playing again. I had more kitchen dance parties. I felt freer and more expressive, and all of this has been deeply satisfying. I really felt safe in this group. Each one was generous, respectful, open, and supportive. We experienced tons of laughter, but there was also space for tears and sadness and grief. And I was amazed and inspired. And I better not cry. It's going to take up time. Oh, geez. By these people. So one of my favorite artist dates was I took myself to the local poetry circle and performed a couple of pieces. Now, I've performed before, but not in a very long time. And I hadn't heard the pounding of my heart in my ears and still have to be present to perform. It was exhilarating. I felt like I had successfully climbed a big mountain. And that's how we feel when we open and we stretch ourselves beyond what we thought we could do. So I wrote a piece this week. This is my show and tell. It's inspired by and in honor of my fellow artists who traveled the last 12 weeks with me. And it's called Be. Be the light in the darkness, illumine the night. Allow all your fears to ascend and take flight to a place far away where they melt like warm snow. Then the lightness inside you is free to show. Now just access the river within. Just go where she takes you. It's safe to begin. Unconditional love, a gift that is given without anger or judgment. We're freer to live in a miraculous now with untold treasures, the power you have truly beyond measure. So take a deep dive and then take a deep breath and watch what hasn't happened yet. Connection transports us from here to what's next. You're the magic, you're the light, flame on and meet the you haven't met. So now I'm turning it over to this beautiful cohort, and my friend Sandy is next.
Dean, that was so beautiful. So hi, everybody. My experience of the artist's way. Well, first and foremost was my experience of our mighty little class, just the 5 of us. Jane, Green, Dana, Dina, and me. It just worked. Like Dina said, it just worked. And more important than any of the content of the course was the love and appreciation I felt for myself and these precious beings. Dina's incredible kindness with her sweet, vulnerable self showing. Jane with her sensitivity, feistiness, and badass self. Dana, her shyness, her humor, and her wisdom. And Breen blew my mind with the energy of the Energizer Bunny and his desire to milk this life to the hilt. We shared deeply, we laughed a lot. I know I'm repeating what Dina said. And for me, what could be better? It so met my need for being met. Journaling was a big deal every day. Everything comes out in journaling when you do 3 pages every day, just like vomiting. I got the gratitudes, the insights, the resentments, the to-do lists, the confusions, the suggestions, and the intuitions. And in rereading those, I got to see how I'm a genius and a procrastinator, a bitch and a saint. Basically, I got to see all of me in black and white. And the artist states were the best part of the artist's way for me. They were an opportunity to flood my inner child with fun, beauty, play, and stimulation. My most memorable was one rainy afternoon, all by my little self. I went to Kilwin's Candy Shop in Suburban Square, bought a caramel apple, dipped in peanuts, and walked around in the rain eating my candy apple. I felt like I was 12, free, and blissed out. So I want to show you briefly some of the highlights of the last 12 weeks. Faces have always been fascinating for me, my own included. I've been drawing cartoon faces since finding it a good way to focus in graduate school. I've created hundreds of them since then. During our 12 weeks together, I continued drawing faces, and one of the goals I made for myself was to frame a bunch of them and exhibit them somewhere, a coffee shop or a gallery, whatever I could, any place I could, where people could appreciate them. I did at least one artist date each week, usually more. I hit museums and galleries and the true love of my life, which is Mother Nature. I went to the mountains. I went to the ocean. I went to my own backyard neighborhood and spent loads of time outdoors taking photographs of this glorious fall that we had. And I found that nature photography is a natural for me, and I'm getting good at it. So I want to show you a couple that I'm really proud of. This one on Forbidden Drive. And, this one is like a little hidden. Let's see if I can. That one was just magic to me. And then the piece de resistance of the whole time for me was that I threw an amazing birthday party for myself. That was a creative genius on my part. It was my 76th birthday, and I threw a bonfire birthday party. And I had cherished friends. I honored the artist, the woman, and the human being that I am. And here's a picture of some of us there. And here's the circle. So I'll finish with I have spoken, which is a way that we talk to each other in our Artist Way group. When we would finish speaking, we would say, I have spoken, and the others would say, I have heard. So I'm passing it along now to Jane.
I'm so glad that I took this class. I had known about the Artist Way book for quite some time. In fact, I'd had it sitting on my bookcase for 20 years. And had been feeling really stuck the past 2 years or so, especially since my parents and my brother passed away. I felt like I kind of lost that spark. And I figured I want to dive in with a group of people and do this. So my experience with our group is very much what Sandy and Dina shared, in that there was just so much deep connection with us. And it was this small, intimate group. And we're such a safe spot for us to share and laugh and support each other and cry and even do some fun things together outside of our class. So it was a great class. The morning pages, 3 pages a day. Some good stuff came out of those morning pages for me. And I've been journaling for over 30 years. So I thought, oh, I got this nailed. This is easy. I journal every day anyway. But it was challenging because you have to uncensor your writing. You can't, write in that, dear diary, kind of a thing. And so that was challenging at times. But then when I got on a good roll with it, I was like, oh my gosh, that came out of me. So the morning pages were really awesome. And I'm going to share something that kind of segues into the artist dates that I found in my morning pages that I wrote. One morning I wrote, life has become so predictable every day. When did I stop exploring and being curious? When and why did I become such a shut-in with such a predictable life each day? This makes me know that I've got to take my artist dates. I need it for my soul. Which brings me to my artist dates. I had lots of fun artist dates, but a couple of my favorites were my very first one. I went to the Hare Krishna temple, and Sandy went there too. She met me there, and it was just magical. Just the fellowship, the chanting, the vibrant community there, the welcoming community. It was fantastic spiritually. That really fed me. We went to a group poetry reading together, and I went there with the intention to just support everybody else there, because I wasn't going to say anything. And then as we started going around in the group, I finally got my courage up, and I thought, well, hell, I'll read something. Because I wrote a lot of poetry after my parents passed away. And then I just stopped. So I got the courage up and I shared some poems. And then I was like, oh my God, I wish I could read more now. I wish they'd come back around again. It was really great. And some synchronicities happened with that, because during this whole process, I've been starting volunteering as a hospice volunteer. And I have a current patient now, and she told me, I wrote poetry when I was grieving the loss of my very good friend, and I got myself self-published. So I was so inspired by the whole poetry thing, not even thinking that was my hustle. And I came home and I transferred all my poems that are in this book I've started into my computer, and I'm up to over 19 pages of poetry now, and I haven't even finished the book. So anyway, the artist dates are crucial. I really enjoyed the artist dates. And I just wanted to list some creative accomplishments that happened for me throughout this course. I started art journaling again, which is something I used to do daily. And I stopped doing for a while because I lost my art mojo, but that started to come back. So I've been doing those again. I started knitting again. I'm now volunteering. I'm painting a set for a children's production at a local theater for a Judy Moody production that's coming up. So much fun. And I'm writing poetry again. And so that's really cool. But I want to say that one of the things that I really enjoyed personally for me, taking this class with Green, he motivated me so much and he inspired me so much. Just with his enthusiasm and his newfound creativity that was just bubbling over. And so I feel like in terms of our relationship, we're starting to have a lot more fun now doing creative things together, and appreciating them more and just being open to exploring and being curious about all the fun things around us. So that's been fantastic. I was not going to do a show and tell, but I think what I will do is I'm going to end this with a poem that I wrote the other day. It's a short one, and it's untitled. If your life begins to reverberate with the sounds of discontentment, change the needle and find some new grooves. There's so much new music waiting to be discovered. And thank you.
Okay, now it's my turn. Woohoo! I'm gonna start my timer. Boom. So at first, when I heard about this Classy Artist Way, I thought, I'm not an artist. Jane's an artist. Jane should do this. And I knew she had the book. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, I like doing classes with her. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. It's a class at New Thought with not Bill. Yay. Nothing. I love Bill, but it's not Bill. Let's check this out. And I went in thinking, okay, I'm an actor. That's a way of being an artist. And then as we got into it, I thought, and I love to write, and I've written some poetry and short stories and stuff. And I want to write more, but I don't do it. So I thought, well, that's going to be my focus. I'm going to be focused writing. And well, writing I did because we had this 3 pages to do every day. And I bought Jane and myself nice, 8.5 by 11 notebooks, and we switched. I'm now down. This is my notebook now. It's not 8.5 by 11. But I really enjoyed this process and leaning in and being around the people. And like everyone has said, just the connection and the camaraderie and the fellowship. And I started to look at writing, and I got this idea about a screenplay that I started to sort of flesh out. And I met a friend of ours, Kathy Shesky, who's a professional screenwriter, and she talked to me, and I bought a book about screenwriting, and I should unblur my background. And I got really into it. And then at one point, at home here, we started doing a little house cleanup. We got a dumpster, and I ripped out some built-in cabinets and started cleaning out a bunch of stuff. And one of the things was, I had to get a lot of paint to get rid of. And you can throw away paint if it's dried out, and you can dry out paint by mixing it with kitty litter. So I had a lot of paint, and I was mixing it with a lot of kitty litter. And I had this like aha moment where I like, wait a minute, I could sculpt with this. So I started sculpting with kitty litter and paint. And I'm going to share a couple of things with you guys. So this was the first thing I made. I made this head face kind of thing. And this is kitty litter and paint. And then I'm like, ooh, I had some green paint. And I'm like, this looks like ice cream. So I made mint chocolate chip ice cream. And this is a sculpture of kitty litter and paint. And then I thought, well, let me try something a little more, representational. So I made this little creature with big eyes and a big pointy nose. And I had a lot of fun with it. And then I had this crazy idea, and I made this thing it's the kitty litter clay on tile on wood, and it's gray and red, and the colors don't come out that great. I can try to zoom in a little bit. And I called it Gaza because all the Gaza stuff was happening. And it just really, it spoke to me. And then also cleaning out the basement, I found some chicken wire, and I thought, ooh, paper mache. I can make a form and paper mache. So I started to work on this head, which has become this. It's not done yet, but it's just morphed into this thing. It was just the head, and I made the base with the foot, and it's just I've been having such a good time with it. And then our wonderful leader Dina challenged us or put out this suggestion: let's do some. Everyone should do something outside their comfort zone, and painting is outside my comfort zone. And I decided I was going to make a painting. So I created this. These are 9x11 panels, and I built this frame for it. And I thought, oh, this is really cool. So I made a similar one, much smaller, for my granddaughters for their birthday, because their colors are pink, blue, and purple. And then I had this idea about canvas on top of canvas. So I made this one, and I made the frame, and I call this autumn because I love the colors, but I was going to make contrasting colors. And I'm going to try to tighten this up. So I made, instead of these ones on top, the small, these are 4x4. I had made these little ones that I was going to use, but I didn't like the colors. But Jane said, "Oh my God, I love that!" And she commissioned a piece for upstairs in the hallway. So I made this for Jane. This is my first commissioned piece. We're negotiating the price still, and I used gallery wrap canvas, which you can see on the side. It wraps all around, and it's really cool. And it's just got me shot out of a cannon. And now part of my basement looks like this because I got an easel, I got a cart with a bunch of paint in it, and I've just been going to town. But I'm still into the acting thing. I've been reading plays, going on auditions, signing up for other auditions. So, this artist way has created a monster, and I'm so very grateful for it. I love you guys. Dana is next.
You guys are a hard act to follow. For me, I love the New Thought community, and I love being with everyone. So I was like, and like Jane, I've owned the Artist's Way book for I don't even know how long, and never got around to doing it because I procrastinated about it. So I really enjoyed doing the 3 pages a day journaling, but it was challenging at times. But what I really loved was doing the artist dates. And I learned like a lot of new things. Like I had an artist date with a cherry pie, and it was amazing. It was fantastic. I mean, because I really got into eating this cherry pie in a way I'd never eaten cherry pie before. Another favorite artist date I went on was I discovered that the Curtis Institute here in Center City, Philadelphia, has free concerts of their students doing their thesis presentations. And I went to one, and it was a woman conductor, and she was amazing. And like you sit so close to everybody, you see all their expressions and blah, blah, blah. And then my most recent trip to Curtis, it was a violin quartet that was the most amazing. They were so synchronized with each other. It's as if they were breathing the same breath together. And I learned that I like atonal symphonic music. So now my Spotify list is jammed with the likes of Anton Weber and all this like weird ass sound happening in my house. And I absolutely, completely love it. And I think so that was, and what I realized was I need to nourish, as an artist, I need to purposefully nourish myself on a regular basis. I've got to do it every week. I've got to make that date with myself. And that while being an artist is naturally kind of a solitary activity, being in community with other people performing solitary duties or functions or creative processes is really, really important. And that the community, and whether it's like we're all agonizing over writing these pages, or, hey, Breen, fantastic. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear about your tryout. Or Dina, I still haven't heard this transformation from a goose singing to like your beautiful voice. I can't imagine there was ever a goose in the room. And Sandy's drawings and Jane's evolution, it's been, their momentum becomes my momentum. And I really have enjoyed completely this process. And I highly recommend anyone who hasn't taken this class to take it. Thank you.
I think these amazing people have said it all. I'm grateful for them. And, I think it's been said. We have spoken.
We have heard. Thank you.